short. Rev put this out. It's like 2 minutes long. This may not even be something that goes up on YouTube because it's this short. Let's take a look at this about Disney tried to re-release Snow White in theaters, and it bombed again. Let's hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you she made a return. So, in case you didn't know,
in true Disney fashion, somehow, Segler has returned. It is true to form for Disney, so...
and you probably didn't, and apparently no one else did either, Snow White and its remake came back to theaters. For some reason, even though this film absolutely bombed at the box office, making $86 million domestically, it is going to be a huge loss for Disney. They're going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. But for some reason, for Mother's Day weekend, I guess, that had to be the reason, they brought it back to 1,200 plus theaters. Why, you ask? I don't know. And also, let it be known, if you took your mother to this film for Mother's Day...
Okay, if anybody took their mother to this film as a Mother's Day treat, they mustn't hate their mom. And Brad is probably going to say exactly that. This is not a Mother's Day present. This is a Mother's Day curse. If you take your mom to this movie for Mother's Day. No.
Shame on you. Shame on you, okay? That is the worst thing you could have done. But anyways, 1,200 screens played this over the weekend. What happened? How did it do?
New course. Closing on target.
Yup. Terry's hitting it just about right. It made $200K in total. It made $50 per theater average. Oh my God. They released it into over 1,300 theaters across the US and made a grand total of $200K. And averaging 50 per theater, that is literally 3 seats. This is $50, averaging $50 per theater is literally 3 seats in the whole fucking theater. Wow. Snow White did what I did not think was possible. I think it did worse than Morbius. When they tried to re-release Morbius, I think it did actually less than Morbius. I don't know for sure, because I don't know what Morbius's re-release numbers were, but I feel like this is worse than Morbius.
$200,000. $200,000 across 1,300 theaters. As pointed out here, that's an average of $50.
No, Zab, okay. First, Morbius in total, and Morbius may have earned more worldwide. I'm talking about when they did the re-release. Like, after Morbius released, and it did very badly, okay, so the re-release made $300K. So the Morbius re-release, which I will remind you, Morbius re-released in theaters because of the Morbin time meme. Because Sony thought, oh, they're memeing the shit out of it. That must mean people like it. Let's re-release it. And it bombed like fucking crazy. It still made more money than the Snow White re-release. Okay? And this is because Sony thought a shitpost was good advertising. And it still made more money.
Per theater. I cannot stress to you the magnitude of this failure. This is impressive. Not just for any movie or any flop. It's impressive for this flop. This is impressive for Snow White. I can't even believe it's this bad. But then again, who would be stupid enough to bring this back to theaters when it already flopped? What were they thinking? Did they even make any sort of a legitimate profit bringing it back and only earning that
this
much?
made nothing but loss.
This is just embarrassing. It's like another sign of complete failure. They just must have a humiliation fetish at this point. Why are they doing this to themselves? There's no reason for this. It's absolutely...
And we must not forget, if Disney did any advertising for this re-release, leave us not forget. I don't know if Rap is going to actually hang on.
Pathetic, man. I can't believe they try to do this crap.
Okay, hang on. Leave us not forget. There's something. This is a very short Red video, so he's not going to talk about it. Leave us not forget, if they did any advertising for this re-release, this is a loss. This 200K is a loss, because I will guarantee you, if Disney did any amount of advertising for the Snow White re-release, it was at least $1 million. Because they're putting it at 1,300 theaters. So they had to have done advertising in some way. They had to have. But even doing just like posters. Even just putting up new posters to advertise in the theaters themselves. Not doing like, not even doing like TV spots, like TV commercials. If they did like just media, physical posters in the theaters, if they did social media posts, if they put something on YouTube, I guarantee you they spent at least $1 million for that advertising. Because at 1,300 theaters, they had to do a lot of printing and a lot of shipping. So that means, I'm guessing they spent probably about $1 million in advertising, which means they took a second loss with this movie. At 200K, that is a second loss upon release. They're even further in the red than the original release. Oh, Revan, making the post is free. Paying the person to put together the post and any artwork that they put together for the re-release costs money. The post itself is free, but the subscription cost for Twitter, the employee to do the social media, the artist to make the poster, that's all money. So they've gotten probably a second loss for this movie. They're even further in the red. And I find that just hysterical. Disney is 100% in a fuck around and find out. And it is wonderful to see.